At this point, I think it's fair to say that I'm obsessed with logos. Really. So today we're going to be looking at some of your favorite logos and figuring out their hidden meanings. Let's do this. So our first logo of the day is the Toyota logo, the famous car company from Japan? The logo itself is okay. I'm curious what the hidden meaning is. The logo includes every alphabet of the company name. Is that so? Wow, T-O-Y-O-T-A. I feel like that's one of those hidden meanings that they didn't intend to do. Like after they completed the logo, they're like, wait a second, that looks like a T, that looks like an O, that looks like a Y, that looks like a T, that looks like an A. Toyota. That's still pretty cool though. I did not know that. All right, so next up we have Pinterest. I actually created a Pinterest a few months ago. I started posting some of my shorts. Not doing too well right now. But the logo apparently has a hidden meaning. The letter P is a board pin. Not sure I'd call that a hidden meaning since it's right in the name, but pretty cool. The Tour de France. This is the one that Lance Armstrong, no, Neil Armstrong? No, Lance Armstrong, where he took steroids and like injected it into his I always thought that it was modeled after him, like that person riding the bike was him. Next up we have FedEx, which is arguably the third best package courier. Courier?
Courier.
I think I'd put UPS and Amazon ahead of them now, and USPS even. FedEx is kind of buns, but I think everybody's born knowing what the hidden meaning is in the FedEx logo. It's the arrow to represent speed and precision. They should look into changing their mission statement. Next up is Toblerone, which is the de facto best candy bar out there. It's not even a competition. This is a 10 out of 10. The coat of arms of Bern, capital of Switzerland, where Toblerone is made, has a bear on it. And as you can see in the mountain, you could see a hidden bear. Looks like a grizzly bear. So does the Toblerone logo. Wait, I never knew that. So it spells out Bern in Toblerone. That's just a coincidence. They did not create their name to include Bern. I kind of love that though. It kind of makes Toblerone even better now. Next up is Beats. So B equals headphones. Looks kind of cute. I've never owned a pair of Beats in my life, and I probably never will because I like wearing those wired headphones because I don't have to charge them. Next up, we have Amazon. Take a good hard look. I think this company makes something like $1 billion per day. Like actually. The hidden thing within it is that it's from A to Z, so Amazon has it all and a smile. The smile part, I'm not sure a lot of the factory workers would agree with that. However, it is pretty cool that it goes from A to Z to include things like animal crackers all the way to xylophones. Next up is Baskin-Robbins, an ice cream place that never has its own store and is always attached to a Dunkin' Donuts. I hope they pay them well. So Baskin-Robbins has 31 flavors, and the B and the R include the number 31. Nice and simple, really nothing wrong with this one. Their ice cream's not the best, but their logo is. All right, we got Formula One, zoom zoom. I don't know a singular F1 driver besides Lewis Hamilton. So the number 1 can be seen between the white F and the red waves. I'm not seeing this. Oh, there it is. So it's in black, which makes it really hard to look at when you contrast it on black. They should have put this on a white background. But then I guess the F would be, okay, never mind. Is that even meant to be hidden? Like every F1 fan is probably aware of that. Hyundai, another Japanese car brand? I don't know, when in doubt, I just say Japanese. So the H represents a handshake and is a symbol of customer trust and satisfaction. That's not what Hyundai owners tell me. However, I guess it's cool. I think it's a big stretch though, because it really doesn't look like that. If you take a look, it just looks like an N that's backwards. It doesn't even look like an H. I always get the Hyundai logo confused with the Honda logo. It looks like the Honda logo, just a little more stylized. Like they italicized it and they just like put a Japanese spin on it. I don't know. I've never actually driven a Hyundai though. Maybe they're amazing cars. Let me know if you drive one. All right, next is the London Symphony Orchestra, something I've never heard of. So that's the logo. And it has the letters LSO. Oh, that's pretty cool because I always thought it was just like an octopus with a baton in his hand. And then the other part is that it's an orchestra conductor with a baton. So not an octopus. That would have been cool though. Kind of looks like an octopus. Wow, so that's got like a double meaning to it. It's always the most random companies, sorry London, that have the best logos. Quicksilver. Do not tell me that they're just gonna say the hidden meaning is that there's a wave there. The logo is a stylized version of the famous woodblock print, the Great Wave off of Kanagawa, which might be like something Hawaiian or Japanese. So it's a little more specific than what I theorized, but still a wave. Alfa Romeo, which I think is an Italian car or something. The logo contains a Biscione, an emblem of the Italian Visconti family, which represents resurrection. I seriously doubt that anybody, including Italians, knows what that means. Like, I have no idea what my family crest is. Does anybody? So next up we have Levi's. Not that Levi, not that Levi, Levi's. So I think it's gonna be something about a booty, because I see the little curve at the bottom of the Levi's logo. It looks like you know? Let's see, the Levi's Batwing forms the shape of the pockets on a pair of Levi's. That's a very PG way to say that. I think my mind might be a bit too dirty for this. I used to rock Levi's, but now I don't really wear jeans anymore. Just like these Lululemon ABC jogger pants, which are like my go-to. Next up, we have Sony Ericsson. I'm not really sure what they do. Pretty cool logo, looks like an orb. Why did they literally recruit a 10-year-old to give me this explanation? So it's just different iterations of S and E until it formed that? Okay. Unilever, the company that makes Dove body wash and Axe. I'm a big fan of Dove body wash, you know, like the blue gently exfoliating body wash. They actually just redesigned their packaging. I was going to include it in a video. Anyways, the icons represent different aspects of sustainable living. Yeah, like fish and flowers and bees and stars and doves. That's actually a really great message because sometimes you have to zoom in a bit to see the real beauty behind things. Next up, we have Northwest Airlines, which sounds like an airline I would never fly with. Gives me like Spirit, Frontier, Ryanair vibes. Let me guess, they integrated the N and the W and combined them in a way where it looks like you could see both letters. The N is also a W with an arrow pointing northwest. You see, that is actually a great logo because I was so focused on the W and the N that I totally neglected that the arrow on the compass, because it's a circle, is pointing directly northwest at 10 p.m. Is it gonna make me purchase a ticket with your airline? Probably not. All right, so now it's Cisco. I know there's another Cisco. I think it's SYSCO. It's like a food catering company. So I always thought this was just a bunch of sound waves. So the lines represent the Golden Gate Bridge of San Francisco, which was a source of inspiration for its founders as they drove down into the city to register the company. That's kind of cute. Like you stay true to your roots. Something inspired you, just throw it on the logo. Moving on, we have Continental, which is maybe like a hotel chain. The C and the O form a tire, but it's TYRE, which I don't know what that means. Sounds like a British word or something. Okay, so apparently a tire is a tire. The Brits continue to spell things wrong, but also that doesn't even look like a tire. It's a semicircle. Last time I checked, tires were circles or spheres. The Museum of London. I think I've been here before. Each vivid color represents the changing borders of London throughout its history. Full disclaimer, I'm not British, so I don't know anything about this. I don't know what the colors represent. Maybe somebody who's a bit more British can explain this to me. HACI, otherwise known as the Hope for African Children Initiative. So they do not give us an explanation, but luckily for you, I know the answer to this. So it looks like the continent of Africa. However, if you look to the right and the left silhouettes, it's actually a mother and a child looking down to each other. You love to see it. Time for the Bronx Zoo. So the negative spaces between the legs create the shapes of famous New York City buildings. You can see the Freedom Tower, the Empire State Building, I think the Chrysler Building, all between the legs of the giraffe. And there's also a bird inside of the giraffe representing the madness that happens in the Bronx Zoo. I'm a sucker for this one because I always love when they use giraffes as mascots. Just something about those tall 17-foot dinosaur things. Just makes me want to pet them. Okay, a few more. Sony Vaio, analog and digital. Okay, I was unaware that that meant analog and that meant digital, but if I was aware, I'm sure I'd be like, wow, that's crazy. Congrats, Sony, for coming up with a great logo. That is certainly a hidden meaning. But I don't think me or anybody else watching this, don't lie to yourself, knows what that means. The Guild of Food Writers. So when I look at this logo, I see a spoon that's pointing up through black, and that's it. And what it really is a spoon, good, but then there's a fountain pen nib. So I guess the point of a fountain pen as well, to represent that we intake food and output our critique. Reminds me of Anton Ego from Ratatouille, which is a great movie. I rewatched it the other day. It really holds up and stands the test of time. NBC, which kind of sounds like NPC, the broadcasting network that we all know and love, or hate, like myself. It has a peacock and stands for color and pride. This is such a stretch, though, to say it stands for pride. NBC came out like, what, 50 years ago? And I think each feather represents each different angle of their broadcasting network, like news, sports, entertainment. That's just like some new way to like greenwash their company to get brownie points with the public. Classic. The Pittsburgh Zoo, which I guess is a direct competitor to the Bronx Zoo, also pretty close to where Harambe died, features a tree, but look a little bit closer. Is it actually a tree or is it a gorilla looking at a lion? And that's the beauty behind the hidden meaning of the logo. And the final logo of the day is Sun Microsystems. So take a look, try to figure it out. I'll give you 3 seconds. Your time's up. The chip forms the word sun in all directions. So keep turning your head, keep turning the logo. It will always say sun. That was a lot of fun. I hope you guys learned something today. Click here, watch these videos. I'll see you guys later. Peace.